bet you've never seen one of these before. Hi there, my name is Mr. Emerald, and today we're going to be looking at some of the cameras that I've used over the course of my life, whether it be on the Mr. Emerald channel or just in my personal life. You know, cameras have been a part of my life ever since I was a small child. I remember Christmas, maybe 15 years ago or something, getting my first camera and being like, oh wow, this is so cool, I never want to put this down. Well, what exactly was that camera? Well, it was one of these. Notice I have the picture on screen and not the actual camera? Yeah, that means I don't have it anymore. This was a Fisher-Price kind of kid tough camera that I got when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old. It was a pretty cool little camera, and it was my first forego into filming. I mean, I'm sure all the stuff that I filmed was just the greatest quality. And also, fun fact about that camera, it didn't come with an SD card, so it recorded to internal memory. Then one day in like 2015, I tried to put an SD card in it, and then it wiped everything. So I lost all of the videos that I filmed from like 2011 to like 2015. Wow. Plus it has the durability of being made for little kids. So it's nice and tough when you need it to be, and if it's dropped by a kid, it's no big deal, just pick it up again. You know, it's all fun and games, right? You know, I have a camera from Fisher-Price that I have when I was really young. It's really nice, but then in 2014, something special happened. I got a new camera. Yes, it's a 3DS. So I got a 3DS for my 8th birthday in 2014. Yes, this is the 3DS that I got. I broke it for a Mr. Emerald video. It was already broken when I broke it. The screen was all fucked up, and yeah, I pulled it apart for the upgrades video in 2021. We'll get to why that video exists soon. But yeah, I started using my 3DS to just record stuff. Even in my childhood, I was a big recorder. I always loved to record everything I did, make little YouTube videos, even though I don't think I really knew what YouTube was back then. Now, the 3DS camera quality is not the greatest. It records at a resolution of 320 by 240 at 20 frames a second. But a lot of people seem to like this look for nostalgia.
It looks so awesome.
Which, I mean, I see where they're coming from. I guess a lot of people nowadays saying that would be about my age, being like, oh, I remember growing up with this thing that took shitty fucking photos and videos. Now, I do currently have another 3DS. I can't find it. I have a blue 3DS that I currently use that I cannot find, but that is also broken as well. It has an issue where if I open the actual 3DS high enough, then the entire thing will just shut off. It's really weird. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know how to fix it. And I mean, the 3DS wasn't just a camera. We all know this. It's a video game console. There's a bunch of games and stuff on it. The 3DS, in a way, was my very own first video game console. You know, I grew up with a family Wii and then a Wii U. And the 3DS, it was just my own little thing that I could play whenever I wanted to without being annoyed by my sisters. You know, I spent so many hours playing this that I look at this now in its destroy mess and I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But forget that, I want a camera that I can specifically use just for making videos. Well, boy, are you in luck, young Ethan, because introducing the MyCam. This is the MyCam. I don't know what company made it. It still works. Look, there's the MyCam. There's the logo. It still actually works. You can see my OBS. Look, OBS. It has digital zoom, and it's also slightly broken. It seems to not register the card. I got this camera for Christmas 2014, and it was my first forego into HD videos. This thing could record 1280 by 720, or 720 by 480 at 30 FPS or 15 FPS. Wow, so many high resolutions. See, look, the thing about this working is that all my old stuff is still here. Oh, look, that's me from 2020.
As you can see, this is what the quality looks like. Pretty good. Just kidding, it's kind of trash.
Also, all the colors are like very much muted and stuff, so yeah, nice. Very cool, MyCam. You may notice that this camera looks very disgusting. Just sticky residue from this rubber coating just being the absolute worst. And that's because I used this... Shut up. I used this camera a lot as a child. I have so many videos that I could go back to and show. I used this camera all across 2015, all across 2016, and it was great. It's a shame that it's kind of trash now. Now, this camera also does have a photo mode. It's not the greatest. Apparently, the quality is 12 megapixels. You can't really see it there, but yeah, apparently it's 12 megapixels. I'll take a picture of the setup currently. Yeah, I think this thing is starting to be a bit of a broken piece of junk. That makes sense, it is 10 years old. Anyways, I ended up losing this camera for a very long time. Then I just immediately turned right back to my good old trusty 3DS. I used that 3DS for maybe 3-4 years of just recording and playing games. And then I got a hand-me-down. This thing. This is some kind of Panasonic DadCam.
HDC SD20.
whatever that means. Full HD! This camera came out in, I think, like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. By the time he upgraded to his phone, he just kind of gave it to me, and I was like, okay, sure. It doesn't work anymore. This was a neat little camera. I used it for not too many things, actually. All the stuff is automatic, which, you know, that makes sense. It's a dad cam. When you got a dad who just wants to film their son, it's just kind of like pick up the camera and go. This camera also does have photos with photo button. It literally just takes a screenshot of the video. See, because it has AV, component, HDMI, whatever, you could hook this up to a TV and watch your photos and videos from this. And we used to do that all the time. I used to do taekwondo when I was a kid. Fun fact, I am a second dan black belt. Or I used to be. I haven't done it in like 4 years. And I remember Dad would bring these to pretty much every taekwondo grading that we had, record it all, and then boom, there it is. And then, you know, if I ever wanted to, you know, look back at how shit I was at taekwondo, I could just load this up, and then boom, there it is. At least I could when it fucking worked. So, you know, cool, all fun and games, right? You know, I got this dad cam, it's 1080p. What else would I want? Oh, wait, look out, it's a smartphone. So, 2021 rolls around, and I get a phone for my birthday. And what does it have in it? A camera. This phone still works, still turns on. Definitely needs an update or two. It's like every phone in the world. It has a camera. Look, there's me. Hello. This phone could record up to 1080p at 30 frames a second, which was the exact same as this thing from 2010. With the Samsung phones, you can tap up here in your video settings to choose between all the available options. Or at least you used to. This is all outdated, and you can see the top one is 1080p 30. This camera has no inbuilt stabilization, by the way. I mean, you know, it looks fine. It is just a standard normal Samsung camera from 3 years ago, so it's not gonna look the greatest today. And there's no inbuilt stabilization, so it shakes like a bitch. One thing I will say though about this phone, and really any Samsung phone in general, these front cameras are always way too overprocessed. Even my bloody A53 even has the same problem. And look how much bigger the 3 cameras are. I mean, hey, if you like this look, then go ahead. I mean, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. But I mean, you know, it's a phone. Everyone has a phone. You always have people looking online saying, oh, what's the best camera to look at for videos? What's the best budget camera to start my YouTube channel? Just use a phone. There's so many apps nowadays people can download on their phones to change up the picture quality, whether it be for Android or for iOS. It unlocks so much more potential with these cameras. But really, if you want to start making videos, film with your phone. You already have a camera that's better than most consumer camcorders. You know what, sometimes we get a little greedy and we're like, hey, let's get this phone out of here and let's talk about some big guys. This is the Canon EOS 1100D. It's not mine, it is my mother's. I started using this for my YouTube channel in about, I want to say late 2020. I started using this camera as a way to practice filming stuff. You know, I was in film class from year 9 to 12, and I really needed to get a startup on how to use, you know, how to properly use a camera. This is a photography camera, so all the stuff you need is, it's all photos. And look, there's one little one for video. Now this camera doesn't record in full HD, it records in 720p at either 25 frames a second or 30 frames a second. That's fine. I mean, 720p for me at the time was fine. It had everything I needed to, and the look was fine for what I had needed. You really don't get much control with this camera. It's all automatic, all the video settings. To be fair, that's fine. You're mainly really using it for the photography, and the photography on this camera is amazing. Also, another fun fact, I broke the autofocus on this lens. This is the kit lens that comes with it. I had it in the autofocus, and I was just doing this, trying to focus up for a video, and then I broke it. I have memories of connecting this up to my laptop and then having to use my laptop monitor as a way to focus when I'm about to record videos. It was a bit of a pain. Nothing's really changed, actually. But sometimes we get just a little too greedy, and then we go, hey, let's buy something new. Another Canon. Alright, so this is the Canon EOS M50 Mark II. It is my current camera, and I've had this for almost 3 years now. I got it for Christmas 2021, and I fully announced it in my video upgrades. It is a mirrorless camera, meaning it doesn't have a shutter. It's got a APS-C sensor, which is bigger than, you know, a Micro Four Thirds sensor. Black magic. It's also got a fold-out screen, which, you know, is pretty common with cameras these days. This camera does 4K resolution, which, you know, is pretty common in smartphone cameras now these days. When I got it in 2021, that was a big jump for me, considering that the 1100D back there uses 720p. But at the end of the day, it's a neat little camera. I do believe that very soon I'm gonna need to upgrade to something else, because, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit sick of this camera. Recently, I've been experimenting a bit more with the picture profiles on this camera. You know, I bought a LUT that basically emulates the look of vlog video from, say, like a Sony camera or something. And I didn't really get the results that I wanted. With this camera, you're gonna get the best picture quality out of it if you just keep it on standard picture settings. But I mean, you still have the ability to change the ISO, the shutter speed, the aperture, all that good jazz in this camera, because it is a video camera after all. The 4K inside this camera, it's not perfect. There is a 1.6 times crop factor, which with this lens, this is just the kit lens once again. If I were to film with 15mm on 4K, that 15mm would actually be 24mm. But I've used this camera for every video since the end of 2021, which is great. You know, this camera, that gets the job done. And like I said before, I'm probably very soon going to look at getting something new. What I'll do with this camera once I get a new one is turn it into like a webcam or something. Get like a dummy battery, get a little HDMI capture card for it, and then boom. But yeah, those are all the cameras that I have been using since I was about 6 years old. The Fisher Price is not here yet, remember that. And you know, like I said before, you don't have to have all of these to start filming. You know, start with your phone. There are movies that are made on phones. It's crazy what people can do with such limited abilities. There's always other cameras that you can buy that aren't these. You know, these are just the ones that I've used across my life. There are so many other brands or types of cameras that you can choose to buy. You could even go back in time and buy, you know, something from like 1999. Go with what your heart desires and buy something that you know you'll like. I don't like any of these, by the way.